Good day, philosophers. My name is John Randolph Babatugun. I am first year AB Philosophy Pre-Divinity track. And today, I will allow me to share with you my philosophical research. Then, my philosopher is Campbell Morgan, and he was a British preacher and leading Bible scholar in early 20th century. And also, he was born on December 9, 1863 in Tetbury Gloucester Shrine in England. Also, he served as the pastor Westminster Chapel in London for many years ago and was a prominent figure in the evangelical movement. Throughout the life of my philosopher, Campbell Morgan was known for his commitment to biblical interpretation of his efforts to make the Bible accessible to a wider audience, and he made significant contributions to Philo, the Christian theology, and his influence was extended well beyond his time, with all his works continuing to be studied and referenced by theologians and scholars. And the goal of my study is that it is better to understand the relationship between the material lives, mental process, and essential spirituality, the importance of developing self-discipline and learning the core values that make us human emphasized. I investigate the mysterious concept of our reality that is greater than the sum of its parts, and the inseparable bonds that bind our physical, mental, and spiritual selves together. These connections permeate not just the material world, but also the realm of the heart, where they shape our most fundamental conviction and beliefs. And my thesis is the body, soul, and spirit are inseparable. The importance of my study is that Campbell Morgan did literally work that explores into the spiritual realm of humanity, expanding his idea of man, conveying his philosophical thoughts in the pages of his book, and also Morgan is mortally interested, explaining what it means to be human. And during his reflection, he realized that the Holy Scriptures certain the essence of humanity. However, he longed for more ways to learn and rebuild. One could argue that the Bible doesn't directly state doctrine. Instead, it reveals it through its story of how people come to be and its many references to the basic nature of evil. In fact, searching into something can be seen as both a privilege and a moral duty. On the other hand, it is important to know that some mysterious things still remain even a lot of research. My main point number one is that according to Kabbalah 2011 is that man is a trinity of body, spirit, and soul. So what I learned is that man has soul and spirit as well as body. Why? It is because it begins with the spirit, which discusses the consciousness, the mind, the soul, and the body. These three have the closest and most personal relationship. The mind is consciousness, which can be spiritual or fleshy, while the spirit is essential, and the body expresses who a person is. People are souls and spirits, not just bodies. And my second main point is that the soul is one with body and it controls its movement according to Broad. This idea talks about that people are made up of three parts: the spirit, soul, and the body. This argument says that the soul is the inseparable link to the body. The soul, which is though to be the most important part of a reason, is very aware of what it does, but it is consciousness to exist. There must be actions that go beyond and its organic or physical qualities. My third main point is that the essence of a person's lives in spiritual universe where the spirits and souls work together in unity according to Ray Impact. This idea supports that belief that what most important about a person are their spiritual and deep parts, like the spirits and the soul. It's like saying that our true essence is made of these things. This life is because we live in physical bodies, and these bodies are like house or containers for the special spiritual objects that give us life. And also it talks about what some people who think about spiritual things believe. The objection of my main point number one is that the fact that a person has soul doesn't sum up who they are as a whole, because souls are invincible and go beyond what it means to be human, according to Johnson. Yes, in this statement, Johnson argues that the core of a person, often referred as the soul, is a fundamental different from the physical body that contains it. He believes that these two things, the soul and the body, are completely separate and not connected. Johnson cannot accept the idea that souls are forever tied to physical bodies because he doesn't see souls as an essential part of human identity. My second objection is that man is a reflection of the divine essence, but the divine essence does not exist in a conventional sense. So it follows that man has no essential nature, soul, nor a physical body, according to Dawkins. This idea is that he came across based on the philosophical questions. The idea of man is a reflection of the divine essence is called into questions by the idea that the divine essence does not exist in the usual way. This calls into questions the basis on which the first claim was made, which makes the connections between people of God seem less true. Furthermore, the objection shows even more doubt by saying that if the divine essence that does not exist in the usual sense, the man also doesn't have any essential nature, which includes neither a soul or a body. The third objection is that the human body is not a temple of the spirit, is not a temple of a spirit rather, because he believes that the soul's essence is born through the realms of metaphysical thinking, according to Friedrich. Friedrich asserts that the soul's essence doesn't have to be connected to the body as a whole home, because it comes from higher levels of metaphysical thought by saying that the soul's essence comes from the spiritual realms. This objection suggests that the spiritual part of being human goes beyond matter and is not firmly linked to the body. From this point of view, it seems that different from the usual religious and spiritual view of the body as home for the soul. My reply to the first objection is that various belief systems and philosophical traditions have different interpretation of the soul, ranging on dualistic views to more holistic ones. He says that the soul is not the important part, what it means to be a human, because it's invisible and mysterious. My reply to this objection is that to recognize that there are different philosophical and religious views of the soul, there are in fact different ways of thinking about the soul in the different religious and philosophical traditions. This range from dualistic views to more holistic ones. For example, in Hindu belief, the soul is called Atman and is seen as a crucial part of who a person is. According to ancient Hindu texts like the Upanishads, the Atman is thought to be an everlasting of unchanging essence that goes beyond the physical body. My second reply to the objection is that the divine essence is beyond human grasp and that our limited understanding should not necessarily lead to the conclusion that humans lack an essence. This perspective asserts that God's essence is not separate from the creation, but is, in a sense, interwoven with it. This leads that the idea of human existence is intimately connected to the divine, and the boundaries between the physical and spiritual realm become less distinct. So, so my response on my Indocken's objection to my paper is that it's essential to acknowledge the limit of human comprehension when dealing with questions of divine existence. Thus, the nature of God, if God exists, it is a subject of profound mystery and debate. Some argue that the divine essence is beyond human grasp, and that our limited understanding should not necessarily lead to the conclusion that humans lack an essence. My third reply to the objection is that the connection between the physical and non-physical dimensions of human existence. The idea of philosophical discussion about the nature of consciousness, it brings important questions about how the material and spiritual of our lives are connected. And my reply to this objection is that it is important to understand that the idea of body as a temple of the spirit goes beyond a purely physical understanding. The idea that the soul's essence is a body and physical world does not mean that the body is not important as a way of spiritual experience to be manifest. Instead, it emphasizes the unique connections between the physical and the spiritual, suggesting that the whole human body is a way that the soul's essence to be expressed. The body is a way for the soul's essence to be expressed. The body is an instrument through which the soul's essence finds expression, highlighting the idea that spiritual experiences are intimately intertwined with physical sensations and bodily manifestations. So in conclusion is that this philosophical paper has looked at how the body, soul, and spirit are all connected and how they help define what it means to be human. We've looked at the many sides of human existence and its connection to the divine and the metaphysical form from different point of view, such as Campbell Morgan's study of spiritual world, Kabbalist's three-part of theory of body, spirit, and soul, and the arguments of forward by Johnson's, Dawkins, and Friedrichs. Also, this research paper encourages us to keep exploring these philosophical questions, knowing that even if we don't come up with clear answer, the process of thinking about it is asking questions that important part of knowing what is meant to be human. It urges to accept the unknown value different point of view and to continue the search for understanding what it's meant to be human and how that relates the supernatural divine. And my insight is that I realize that human existence is deeply intertwined with the divine, blurring the distinction between the material world and the realm of the sacred. This view of interconnectedness challenges us that the idea of separate and faraway God by highlighting the divine's close presence in all areas of life. Moreover, face the objections like Dawkins, it is important to recognize the limits of human understanding when trying to figure out the mysteries in God's existence. The nature of God, if there is really a divine presence, is still something that people think about a lot but can't quite figure out. The presence of God in all aspects of all resonates with your reflection and the intimate connection between human existence and the divine. Once again, good day everyone, and thank you for listening to my sharing about my philosophical research paper. Thank you.